Good evening.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
I hope you're doing great on this fine October evening.
We are back at the penthouse.
From the penthouse, we have another episode of Sports Desk.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
We are in sync. However, tonight is a special night.
We're doing another special guest, and tonight we have with us our good old buddy Ethan Ortiz. Say hi, Ethan.
Hey, Ethan.
Fellas, how we doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm good.
We are excited to have you on the show.
Here.
Oh,
So glad
well,
to be here.
we're happy to have you on the show. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank
It's
you.
our pleasure.
Oh, absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
no, pleasure's all mine. Honestly,
Yes.
pleasure's all mine.
Well, we're going to start things off talking about baseball, just like we did last week. Game 1 of the World Series between the Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees happened yesterday. Nope, Tampa Bay Rays and the LA Dodgers. Wrong series.
Brain fart.
The Dodgers won 8-3, taking a 1-0 lead. But however, right now Game 2 is being played in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tampa Bay is currently up 5-0 on the Dodgers. So they look to tie things up here tonight in Game 2.
That is true. I am hoping for a Tampa Bay Rays to actually come away with the entire series. For no particular reason. I don't know. Preference. Ethan, you got a preference in this series at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at the Dodgers just because of Cody Bellinger, Kershaw. Kershaw last night was really tough. Yeah, I think he retired like 11 straight. Bellinger, Betts was all over the place too. He had like a home run, 2 stolen bases, RBIs. Same thing with Cody Bellinger. I mean, it's just tough to compete with Cody Bellinger, you know what I'm saying? Because he was, MVP. In that MVP conversation, I think last year he won it. I'm not sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's tough to go up against those guys. I mean, obviously they're losing right now, but I mean, baseball is such a lopsided sport. You can win, you can lose by a lot, you lose by a little. It's a very patient game.
Yes.
Very, very like the consistency is definitely one thing, and that's what makes baseball pretty interesting when it comes to like those series. Is like you're hot and you're cold.
We have our first comment of the episode. First of what I anticipate to be many. By Fresh Ava Chadu. And it's literally 2 eyeballs, so I don't really, That's basically the comment. That's it.
They've been watching.
Yeah, that means we got viewers, which is good. Alright, we're going to move on to the next segment. Take it away.
Alrighty, so we're going to kind of talk about our WLC sports. As we know, we had a bunch more sports get shut down, but this last weekend, this Saturday actually, football had their half scrimmage where we played 2 quarters of a football game, and then track also had a track meet following the football scrimmage. So that was actually really fun. Ethan, scrimmage, what do you think about it? How'd you do? Or you weren't even there, were you?
I wasn't there, but I still watched the film. I still got info from guys. I asked everybody, like, how did they do? I wanted to make sure the freshmen, got their, the jitters out when it comes to the, tackling and being in college. And from what I heard, a lot of good, some bad, a lot of stuff that we can work on. But I think overall, it wasn't really it was a little bit of a competition, but overall, everyone was just trying to know their system, know their part, and just play their role and just play fast.
Exactly. Yeah, from what I saw, both of the teams, we were divided up offense, defense, black and green. And from what I saw, like both teams put up numbers. They were close games each, and what it kind of boiled down to was like those communication errors, and just I think that was about it. Really, was communication was the biggie. On defense, and I'm sure offense had their problems. I wasn't on offense. I didn't exactly know what was going on there. But with the track meet that went on, that followed the scrimmage, there was a number of football guys that went right from the scrimmage to their track meet, and they were very sore. Had a little bit of a time, but luckily, or like fortunately, it wasn't a huge like track meet or anything like that, where there was a bunch of schools, a bunch of competitors there. It was more so just like area schools. I think Lakeland was there for some track, like sprinting events. and University of Wisconsin or Milwaukee was there, and they had throwers there, and they threw well. They completely destroyed our throwers there. D1 throwers competing against us, so it was kind of an unfair matchup there. But Ethan, you used to be in track at WLC, right?
I did used to. I pole vaulted my freshman year. I was pretty good in high school, and I tried to do the same thing freshman year, and then I wanted to focus a little bit more on football and my college and getting stuff done, like working and everything. So I gave it up. I still love it. You know, I'm still familiarized with it. I think like that track meet after the scrimmage was like the same thing as like a scrimmage, just like something fun, something that they could compete. I'm sure it wasn't that serious. I wouldn't think it would be serious, especially, you know, it's not season like that. So I'm sure it was like the same scenario where kids can just go out there, compete, and have fun ultimately. But yeah, I used to pole vault. You know, I'd say I was pretty good at it, you know.
And if I'm not mistaken, Ethan, you are awaiting your official nomination into the Pole Vaulting Hall of Fame, correct?
I'm actually on there. I have the second highest height in school in my high school history. So I'm on there. I think I'm on my relay team. I'm ranked my relay team for pole vault is #1 in school history. So we broke that record, and I accomplished 13 feet in sectionals my senior year. So I hold that second highest height in high school history, which I'm good. I got the medals over there. I don't want to bring them out because that's too much hardware.
You don't want to flex on us, it's all right.
It's a bit heavy. It's a bit heavy. You know I'm strong, but it's a lot to bring out right now. But yeah,
it is what it is. We got a bunch of comments rolling in, so Jake's gonna read a couple of those.
So first off, Skylar, do you mind just quick telling us which sports got shut down for WLC, and then we have another comment that I would love to go over.
Alrighty, so first things first, men's soccer ended up getting shut down. I don't know the number of like positive tests or anything like that. I just know that they ended up getting shut down. They're not practicing. They're not doing anything. The whole team is quarantined. Men's volleyball also is a team that got shut down. Those are the only two that I know of off the top of my head. I know the girls' volleyball team is just coming back from their quarantine trip, and I think that's about
quarantine trip.
That's about all I really know off the top of my head. If there's anyone that's watching that knows any more than I do, feel free to let us know.
So in essence, let us know.
Yes.
Trey Cochran says, Ortiz wishes he had hair like me.
Hair like Jesus, he means.
Hey, no. I wish I had a beard like his. He got that lumberjack Paul Bunyan beard going on right now. I don't know what happened during quarantine, but he must have found some type of oil, and he just after every shower. That's what had to happen. Right now, he looks like Rapunzel. He got the long hair going on. It's either Rapunzel or Mufasa. I can't really decide right now, but I'm sure I'm gonna come up to a decision eventually. But yeah, ain't no wishing. Ain't no wishing.
I feel like every time I look at Coach Cochran, my sins are forgiven.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
He does
Bryce,
Jesus.
Bryce Brogny, I don't know if I said that right, says Ethan goated.
Boris! Hey, Boris! Shout out my guy Boris, future MLB player. He grinding my boy.
Best defensive player in D3 football.
No! Come on. Alright, come on.
Alright, we're going to move on now to our next segment.
I'm not trying to force my first time being on here, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, it's all good. We're taking it into the NFL. Oh, UFC, right? We wanted to talk about UFC first? Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah.
We got a couple of fights coming up here, notably Khabib.
Shish Khabib.
And how'd you say his name, E?
It's Nurmagomedov. he's Russian. You know, it's kind of difficult to say those type of Russian last names, but
Yeah.
And
UFC
first
fighters
names.
have the craziest last names.
Yeah,
But
I think
yeah.
it's yeah.
So that's coming up. I'm gonna have to. If I was gonna pick a winner of that one, I'd definitely go with Khabib, just because of the track record that he's holding and the name that he's made for himself. That, and I really don't know too much about the other guy. I mean,
Same. I literally have never heard of most of these guys.
Yeah, I know. Justin Gaethje took out Ferguson, who's pretty good. He's a pretty good like technical fighter, but I think he broke him down pretty nice in the last match, and ultimately he won. And obviously he gets to fight Khabib, who is not only like a big star in like a UFC, but he has like 20 million views on his like he's known like worldwide across the country. Like he's well known. He's very dominant. I honestly don't see Justin coming out on top of it.
Okay.
I think Khabib's too aggressive. I think Khabib's trains a little bit harder. You know, I just see Khabib winning on that one.
yeah. I can't help but agree with you. Next one on the list, we got Hall and Anderson Silva, who, if you remember, a few years back ended up like snapping his leg. I can't help but agree with you. Next one on the list. It was quite the gruesome injury. I know I've watched that highlight several times, over and over again. I mean, that's the sports and exercise science background in me. But
Psychology major in me thinks that he must have really hated that moment.
yes. But looking at this fight, I'm gonna go with Silva just because I feel like I'm a little bit more familiar with him. Kind of like a little bit of a bounce back. I mean, those injuries are hard to recover from, but you know, I just.
And you look at too like previous leg injuries. You know, if we're talking about going back to football, like Alex Smith of the Washington team. Sorry, you know, he just came back a few weeks ago, so it is possible to make these comebacks.
True.
And I think, like real quick, Anderson Silva's an OG. You know, he's like 40 something still fighting. You know, and I think he's just building on that. You know, his repertoire and his legacy in the UFC. I seen him fight Israel Adesanya, and he blasted all around. And Israel is a really tough competitor, really tough opponent. He's undefeated, but Israel did come on top. But Anderson Silva, he can still hang with them. So I mean, I'll probably go with Anderson, just because I like him. I've watched him for like a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't disrespect the OG, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. We have another comment, a few actually. So Jonathan Wardell says, best intramural volleyball teammate. We have Phil.
Yes.
Phil saying, CashOutOrtiz is bringing the energy, loving it. And we have Trey Cochran again. Stay low, keep that core tight, in and out of breaks quick. See y'all at practice tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah, I've heard that all too much.
Yeah, we heard that for 4 years straight. Still can't protect it. But that's why we go to practice. That's why we go to practice.
Up next for the UFC, there's Santos and Teixeira.
Or Teixeira.
I don't know how to say that.
It's Teixeira.
Is it Teixeira?
Trey Cochran says...
Teixeira? What's Trey saying?
Trey says, Ortiz...
What?
Ortiz can't even touch the top of a volleyball net. Get real.
No, what?
All right, Ethan has left the chat.
First of all, I'm the one with 3 reconstructive knee surgeries. I definitely get up there. You must have forgot my interception in Aurora. Not against Aurora at home on the sideline when I got up in the air because I got bunnies. But it's cool. Against the quarterback, I think was the top quarterback in the conference. Oh, all right. We're not gonna talk about that. It's cool.
He must play back row. Have to rotate him out when he get to the front.
He's a libero.
However, I cannot overlook Jesse. Jesse Otero says he paid me to watch.
That's my mom.
Well, thank you, Jesse. Keep bringing the energy to the comments section. Please.
We love it. We love to see it.
Oh man.
So we have Santos versus Texiera, or whatever you say.
You have Santos versus Texas. Who you got?
I'll probably go with Santos. I don't know much about the other guy. I honestly, I don't know much about the other guy. But I've heard of Santos. I've seen him fight in like a exhibition fight. I think during the main event. If I'm correct, that's who I'm thinking about. So I'll probably go with Santos on that one.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go with Santos because I can't pronounce the other guy's last name.
It's literally Teixeira.
Anywho, moving on, McGregor, and I can't pronounce the other guy's last name.
Poirier.
Poirier?
Poirier. Oh, it's like French.
Poirier. I don't know. I think.
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm going to go with McGregor.
Same.
I think McGregor had the upper hand the last time they met up, like 4 years ago or something like that. And McGregor won by knockout. I think that he's going to be winning again. McGregor, as I think most people have known, he's been in and out of fighting. He's like hung up the gloves 3 times the last 4 years. And he's coming back from this little stint that he took where he was retired, but he's back to fight against this, I think his name's Justin. And I think it's going to be a good fight. I do think McGregor's going to come out with a win again. He's just a seasoned vet. He knows what he's doing, and he's pretty much the real deal.
McGregor. Free Shavakadu says Ethan is the ultimate plate catcher. Jonathan Wardell, he plays baseball. I thought they caught baseballs.
Wait. Say that one more time.
So Free Shavakadu says Ethan is the ultimate plate catcher. And then Jonathan Wardell, he plays baseball. I thought they caught baseballs. Are you talking about Teixeira? Like Mark Teixeira? He played for the Yankees back in the day. I don't know else what you're referencing.
You mean Texas?
Explain yourself, Jonathan.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
What's the next segment, Skylar?
Next segment, we can go ahead and start talking about the NFL.
Yeah.
The No Fun League.
Right.
Wow.
So, talking about our game picks for starters, this week, Jake had a rough go at it.
It's not good.
He had a total of four picks right.
4 games were right, meaning many more were wrong.
And I had a solid 9.
You're so great.
Oof. Better than you, that's all I need.
Pretty good though.
Yeah. First game we wanted to talk about was Carolina at New Orleans. Jake and I split this one. Ethan, what do you think is going on there?
Carolina against New Orleans.
Tiebreaker.
We're talking about.
Carolina's going to be at New Orleans, mind you.
You know what's tough is that the Panthers have the 6th ranked offense, despite their record. I think they're 11 in rushing. I think what they're gonna have to deal with is the Saints' number 2 defense, despite the Saints' record, and the slow start that they had. I see the Panthers coming out of it.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, he does. Oh.
I think Bridgewater is gonna. I think Bridgewater is gonna. I don't know, find something, especially going against the Saints. That's what he had. He was on that team like last year, and he did pretty good when Drew Brees was hurt. I think he's gonna come in there with like a nice little chip on his shoulder, and I think he's gonna try to show out against Drew Brees, and I think they're gonna have success.
And you got Robbie Anderson at receiver, who's been going off this year. I think he's 2nd or 3rd in the league in receiving yards.
Yeah.
So they got weapons.
He can go too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think them being down Christian McCaffrey has done a little bit of number on their offensive production this year. But with New Orleans, I mean, Michael Thomas is coming back. Hopefully, as long as he doesn't punch another dude in the face, he'll be back. And I think he should be pretty much up to 100% health-wise, because I think prior to him punching on his teammate or something like that,
Oh, look, a teammate.
he was set to like come back and play. Whether or not he was like at 100% capacity, I don't know. But he should be pretty close now. I mean, it was a high ankle sprain. He's coming back from it. And we saw Jimmy G was affected by his high ankle sprain, and he threw absolutely awful that first game. But then next game back, week 6, he just went off, absolutely throwing 3 touchdowns, looking like he was never hurt in the first place.
Right.
Kind of ignoring the fact that he botched the week before. But I think that New Orleans should probably come away with the win. I mean, they got some weapons back, and I don't think teams have kind of been game planning for it because they haven't really seen it this year.
Yeah. Up next, we have Green Bay at Houston. And Ethan, I know you are a Packers fan, so I'm sure this past Sunday was a little tough for you. However, I picked Houston this week only because of how Green Bay looked at Tampa Bay this past Sunday. Give us your thoughts on how you thought the Packers looked last week and how you think they're going to bounce back this week at Houston.
Yeah, so first of all, I've been in so many debates about what happened on Sunday, and I even talked to my coach because I was trying to figure out what happened. Like, I woke up Monday morning and I was thinking, like, what can I do to get better? I thought I lost. You know, I know it was a fall break, and I was trying to get better for the Packers that I'm not on. But I think what went wrong was I got some feedback on it from our head coach, that they didn't establish a run game. They weren't efficient despite scoring on the first 2 drives. I felt like it was rocky, still trying to get there. Aaron Rodgers had a bad game. It's very rare. Very rare. Like, I was shocked when I seen him catch the ball and run it in the end zone because I knew it was going to be a pick 6. So it was just very shocking. I don't think that he'll ever have that type of game ever again because that's Aaron Rodgers. He only has 3 pick 6s in his career. You know,
wow.
It's very tough and it's very rare. You know, it was a tough pill to swallow that day, but I can take a loss right now. I could take a loss because I thought we were getting a little bit too complacent, a little bit too head high, being 4-0. We didn't really face a top 5 defense like that, and they rushed and pressured him, and he wasn't pressured like that at all. I think he wasn't even sacked until that Sunday. But I think for this matchup against the Texans, I think they're going to bounce back. Packers had the 6th ranked defense. They had the 31st, which is second to last. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to chew that defense up. My biggest issue is the fact that Texans do have a good passing and good offensive team right now, just because of Deshaun Watson, what he can do. We all know what he's capable of. Despite not having D-Hop, he's been utilizing his receivers very well. I think they're trying to establish a better run game too. But I think the Packers are going to come on top just because they struggle against the run defense, and the Texans gave up 200-plus yards last game to Derrick Henry. And I think Aaron Jones is trying to make a statement too because he had a bad game as well. So I think he's going to come out hot, as well as Aaron Rodgers in that offense. And that defense is going to come out mad because of last week. So I think, obviously, Packers, I think.
Yeah, you talked about how last week, Packers didn't establish a run game, which is super important for a team because that helps take pressure off the passing game. One thing to note from that Tampa Bay Packer game, Tampa Bay receiver Tyler Johnson, a former Gopher, got his first NFL receiving touchdown. As a Gopher fan, that was kind of cool to see a local kid doing well. Do we have any other games we want to talk about before we move on?
Seattle and Arizona.
Who do you got, Skyler?
As we know, Kyler Murray is pretty much dictating that offense, and he's got D-Hop from Houston, actually. And they've got just an overall solid team. I know Kenyon Drake has been rough the first few games, but this last game he went off for like 160 yards rushing and like 2 touchdowns or something pretty close to that. And they're just their offense is firing on all cylinders. Their defense was looking pretty sharp, but I feel like you really can't compete with Seattle. So what it's going to boil down to in that game is whether or not Seattle's defense will be able to kind of slow down Arizona's offense, because we all know that the defense is the weak side when it comes to Seattle. However, I did pick Seattle over Arizona. I think Russell Wilson is just too good to compete with. He's on a different level this year for sure.
MVP candidate right now.
Yeah, Ethan, what are you thinking for that game?
I chose Arizona. I think
okay, let's hear it.
I think they are hot right now. I think Kyler Murray's playing very well right now. I think he's comfortable. I think the fact that he can scramble and run for touchdowns, keep defenses on his toes, which is a problem because Kenyon Drake is trying to find his way, I guess, in the run game, establishing that run game. But they also have to worry about D-Hop and Fitzgerald. I think that's going to be a problem for Seahawks, especially since their defense is ranked 26, despite their record. Like you said, it's not a big question mark, but it's very skeptical with their defense. So I think they got too much to worry about when it comes to those three guys, Kyler, D-Hop, and Fitzgerald. And I just see Arizona a lot of points.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting too because I thought I read somewhere that Kyler Murray actually completed less than 50% of his passes against a poor Dallas D. So it'll be interesting to see if he can bounce back against a pretty poor Seahawks D as well. So,
true.
Yeah.
Right.
Next game on the list, we got Tampa Bay at Las Vegas. Jake and I split this one. Jake, let's hear it.
Yeah, so I picked the Raiders because, I don't know, I just am not sold on Tampa Bay this year, even though they just beat the Packers pretty convincingly. I think Derek Carr's played pretty well this year, and they got several weapons on offense, like Darren Waller at tight end, and a few good receivers as well. I don't know. I feel like this could be a close game either way. I'm just going with Las Vegas in this one. I shouldn't say LA. But, yeah. How about you, Ethan and Skylar? Who do you guys got?
Ethan, you go first.
Sure. I said the Raiders, too.
Oh, okay.
Mostly on the fact that...
You're salty, Tim.
I'm salty. Yeah. I'm definitely salty. I just, I want to see them lose after whooping our butt last week. So it'll be a good sight to see. Plus, Las Vegas isn't playing bad at all. I think they're trying to make a statement with the guys that they have, especially Carr. He's doing, he's playing pretty well throughout the past couple games. So I think the Raiders are gonna pull it out. I just do, but I just don't want the Bucs to win.
Okay,
that's fair.
I picked Tampa Bay.
Moving on.
yeah, I just seem to be disagreeing with you guys left and right here.
Well, that's why I told you a few weeks ago that you are being replaced.
But I also feel like I am still winning in the game picker tracker that we got going on.
It's how you finish the season, okay? You're starting off strong. We still got over half the year to go. Second half comeback. Let's get it.
You got an uphill climb, buddy.
All right, we're going to switch things over briefly to the NBA. The draft is coming up in less than a month, and the Minnesota Timberwolves have the number 1 pick. There's been lots of rumors circulating as to who they should pick. LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards. I see you have Cassius Winston listed down from Michigan State.
I just liked him. That's why I put him down. I'm a big fan of that kid. Kind of what I was looking at was what positions do the Timberwolves need the most, and I feel like a guard is definitely one of them. But we also need a complement to Karl Anthony Towns. He needs somebody that can sub in for him, that's sizable, that can compete with those other guys. So a lot of people in the mock drafts that I was looking at were picking either LaMelo Ball, who's a big name, but he's just a little guy. He's got a decent outside shot, and he's a great ball handler. He's not very big. He's not very physical. He'd be a defensive liability. But in a lot of the other ones, a lot of the other mock drafts that I was looking at, Anthony Edwards was the guy that people seem to be thinking that the T-Wolves were going to go with. He just seems to be like the full package. One of those answers that the T-Wolves need in their offense and in their defense.
Ethan, do you have anyone that you think should go number 1, or who do you think the Timberwolves will pick? Will they trade down from the number 1 spot?
Yeah, well, you got to see about who they have. I think D'Angelo Russell is still their point guard. right now. Anthony Wiggins is still there. I think so.
No, he's actually with Golden State. They traded him.
They just yeah. You're right. So you have a guard. All right, you have a pretty good guard that does about everything: defense, pass, shoots, scores. He's a good guard to have. I don't see LaMelo going there. Just to the fact that I don't think D'Angelo will be a good two guard unless they flip those two guys around. But I think that's going to be, regardless, that is a nice front court with LaMelo and D'Angelo. How they choose to disperse that ball around, that's on them. If LaMelo goes there, I just see Anthony Edwards going there, like just because of his size, having him in that 5 spot, not in the 5 spot, but like in the top 5 starters. I just feel like he's a more fit just because of his defense, his framework as well is going to complement Cat, and I think it'll complement D'Angelo as well, as D'Angelo's trying to score, kick out, or give more assists to Cat and Anthony. I think that'll just work out better.
Gotcha.
Very interesting.
You're a Chicago Bulls fan. We just recently talked about. Is there anyone in the draft that you think that that you guys need to pick up? What are you guys lacking? What do you need?
I'm not gonna lie. I hope LaMelo falls all the way to the 4th pick. I hope he comes to Chicago. And the thing is, I know we got guards, but we don't got a stable guy. I think we had this point guard. I can't even pronounce his last name. I think he came overseas, and then we have.
Is it Lauri Markkanen?
Lauri Markkanen is not our guard. Lauri Markkanen is like our center, forward type of player.
Well, way off.
We have Levine, and we have Kobe White. A great guard, great scorer. I think he should have started way earlier. Before. We also have Chris Dunn. He's a great defense, but he's not that scoring threat. I feel like if we have LaMelo in there, we can have Kobe scoring, LaMelo scoring. If LaMelo comes off the bench, Kobe can come off the bench. LaMelo starts. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a very powerful scoring team if LaMelo goes there, just because LaMelo can almost score from anywhere. I think Sky is right with his liability to play defense. I think he'll get better at it as he grows because he's tall, really big. I think he'll learn to use his body more. But if we have Kobe, LaMelo, Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, see that 5th spot. It's just tough. You know what I'm saying? But we're figuring it out. But I feel like LaMelo would be a better fit.
We got a few comments from Joel Lazu saying, he says, big Ethan Ortiz fan, as well as Bulls need LaMelo and MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., I assume. Make it happen, Chicago.
We talked about it. Now, if Michael Porter Jr. comes here, 6 seed. Okay?
6 seed.
6 seed. He needs to get out of Denver. He needs to. They're not using him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the offseason plays out for sure, and especially with the draft being so much later this year. When they're going to start next season, is it going to be a super long offseason, or how it's going to all play out? It's going to be very interesting. Because normally, the NBA season it's regular season right now, but the finals just ended. So it's going to be interesting to see free agency trades, all those transactions in the offseason for sure. Phil says, did the Bulls get rid of their liabilities at coach and GM? I'm not really sure.
We got Oklahoma City's coach. Wow, what's his name?
Oh, Billy Donovan.
Billy, thank you.
You're welcome.
We got him. We got him. Now, I'm not gonna say he's gonna make a big difference on the team. I just think the coach last year needed to go. He was one of those guys that just couldn't get it done.
Sometimes a change is needed for sure.
Speaking of changes being needed, We're going to redirect course back to the NFL and kind of talk about a little bit of the rumors that we've heard kind of floating around in the Twitter sphere. And then also like a couple of different like news stories that kind of came up this last week with everything. The first one on the list being Fitzmagic getting benched for rookie Tua.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, Ethan just had a heart attack.
Oh, Ethan's gone.
That's how I feel.
So a headline came out today saying that Fitzpatrick was actually heartbroken over the news. He felt that he was in control of the team, and he was doing really well this year. 12 total touchdowns, 1,500 passing yards. So he said this one hurts a lot. Ethan, do you think it was wise of the Dolphins to start Tua after only throwing 2 passes in a blowout win?
Now, I'm going to kind of reiterate what Shannon Sharp said this morning about it. I think I agree with him on this too. I think that they were planning on it. I don't agree with the timing because Fitzmagic was not playing bad at all. That boy was diming it across the field. He was doing everything he can to win, and it showed, especially with a shutout to the Jets. You're going to shut out the – I mean, I know the Jets suck, but, like, he did have a good game. Tua comes in fourth quarter, doesn't score, but now he's a starter. And no knock on Tua, though, because he is a phenomenal player. I watched him in college. He's deserving of that spot. I just don't think not yet. I don't think that's – like, Fitzmagic was playing good. How you going to take something that's playing good and is comfortable and everybody's cool with, just take him out just like that and just throw into a... And it's like, I understand if, like, I think they're 3-3 right now. Right?
Yeah, something pretty close to that.
I know they don't have a bad... I know they don't have a bad record. If they were like 1-3, like, okay, that makes sense. If they were sucking and didn't win anything, I understand that. But he was playing good. I just don't see it. It's not.
Yeah, it's an interesting headline, and we'll see how Tua does in the coming weeks for sure. There has been some speculation about Baker Mayfield. He's been struggling with the Browns lately. And Stephen A. Smith recently said that he thinks OBJ and Jarvis Landry should demand trades. He is not high at all on Baker Mayfield, not thinking that he's living up to the hype or anything. Do you think Baker is on his way out? He got benched last week in favor of Case Keenum.
I think when you got those weapons around you, you can't play the way you're playing, which is pretty bad. When you have Odell and you have Jarvis, 2 of like the top 10 receivers, top 15 receivers in the league, and you're not utilizing them to the way that they should be, and you're not winning the games that you should be winning with those guys, you gotta go. Like, you're not fulfilling anything that we thought that you're going to. It's not as bad as the situation with Manziel, but it's like come on. Like, he has to play better, and if Case Keenum, I think it was, that came in.
Mm-hmm.
If Case Keenum got to come in and get it done, and he gets it done, cool.
I will
Baker
say
Mayfield.
right now. Yeah, I will say right now they are 4-2, and Baker did talk about. It feels kind of like their record is a lot worse than what he feels it is. Like 4-2 isn't as sweet as like us Vikings fan would think.
Low standards, baby.
But like, I don't know. I feel like the kid plays with heart. I've been a Baker fan since he entered the league. I think he just needs to kind of like hit his stride and kind of go from there. I mean, he's got the weapons to do so. Obviously, losing out on Nick Chubb is going to be a little bit of a damper on the offensive production. But at the same time, I mean, you got Kareem Hunt to kind of go through. And I don't know. I'm not quite sold that Baker's going to be like leaving anytime soon. But I do think like maybe there's going to be a little bit of a rotational between those two quarterbacks. Obviously, both have experience starting in the NFL. Both have been proven to like run an offense. It's just a matter of who kind of shows up to compete that day. And obviously, like, Baker's been hot and then he's been cold. That's the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll move to Big Ten.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So football is starting for Big Ten this Saturday, this weekend. And we got a few big games lined up. We got Michigan at Minnesota, prime time at 6:30. We got Nebraska at Ohio State, Illinois at Wisconsin. Ethan, is there one game in particular in the Big Ten that stands out to you that you're excited to see most this weekend?
I'd probably say Illinois, Wisconsin. I think we know the rivalry, and us Wisconsinites, we take rivalry, especially with Minnesota and Chicago, very seriously. So I think having that rivalry out the gate is going to be a nice thing to see, especially since August college football coming around, starting up again, and it's just going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, I think the games will be pretty good this week. It's nice to finally get some football back for Big Ten. A lot of conferences, not a lot, some conferences have already started play for a few weeks now. We have a few comments. We won't elaborate too much on them for time's sake, but we have Joel saying Dolphins will be in playoff contention with Tua starting. Dolphins have a bunch of winnable games on their schedule. They will float around playoff contention. Interesting. Dion says, big Ethan Ortiz fan. Where's your mask? Hot take, all that good stuff.
Yes.
Dr. Pepper.
I'm my mask, Dion.
Right, you're at home. You're fine. Keep it up.
I will say Miami will probably would be a wild card at best.
Yes, I don't see them hanging around to win the AFC East because Buffalo. Wait, they're in the same division, right? Yeah. Miami's not leading the division. They're just ahead of the Patriots. That's where I was thinking they were winning. Because Patriots usually are winning.
And I don't think they're gonna do worse with Tua. I don't think they're gonna just go straight to the bottom when it comes to that. I just think it's not fair. I think Tua's gonna be electric. Once we see him actually play a full game, then we'll see how that team will go. I just got to see him play a whole game.
Yeah,
right.
And obviously he is a rookie, and we didn't have a preseason, so we never got the chance to see him perform before the actual season.
Exactly.
So now he's kind of just jumping in.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows that the NFL is a whole different ball game than college. But we got another message.
I see them being wild card contention for sure. Bills going crazy this year, though. Shout out Josh Allen. That's true. Bills are doing pretty well. Josh Allen struggled the last few games, not putting up as insane of passing numbers, but still getting the job done. I think the addition of Diggs at receivers helped them out a lot. Yeah.
Big. And their defense is stepping up, too.
That's true. That's true. I gotta head out in just a few minutes here.
Yeah, Ethan, did you have anything else, any last minute things you wanted to address?
Not to my mind. Not to my knowledge.
Ethan, we are so happy that you joined us tonight on Sports Desk.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Dude, you gotta ask about the Dr. Pepper.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We gotta ask about Dr. Pepper.
That's in the chat.
Dr. Pepper.
Where is it?
Oh.
With the ice cube.
Dr. Pepper with one ice cube. That's a comment.
Now here's the thing. My Dr. Pepper, I already drank it all, but tonight I'm drinking it. Alright.
Oh, okay.
I had to get something in the rock. It wasn't going to be Dr. Pepper because I drank it all.
Does it have one ice cube in it?
Are the rumors true?
It's one. It's one nice big, one nice big ice cube. It's one of those things on the rocks. You gotta get. You can't get the real thing. You gotta get something close to it.
There you go.
Yeah, I definitely tend to be the guy that gets no ice in any of my beverages.
The gorilla wins the fight. He's a fraud. Mixed reaction in the comments. I think Bongo wins for sure. We got Bongo messed up here for safety's sake.
Yeah, we can't have Bongo getting the Rona.
Because we care about his safety just like we care about your safety as well. Ethan, want to thank you again so much for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you again.
Yes.
Thank you,
And
guys.
we would love to have you. We would love to have you back on the show sometime. So if you want to, let us know.
Yes, sir.
I'll be waiting.
Alrighty.
I'll be waiting on your call. Don't worry about it. I'm here.
And with that, we conclude tonight's episode of Sports Desk.
Sports Desk.
It's finger licking good. Yum.